Welcome to Raising Empowered Minds, the podcast where inner work and self-growth meets family and community life, weaving in conscious and intentional living. I'm your host, Amy Schneider, Certified Silva Method Meditation Instructor, mom, mentor, lifelong learner, self-growth enthusiast, and mental health advocate. Here, we explore how to raise the vibration of our thoughts, our children, our families, and communities using the step-by-step structure of the Silva Method, a proven approach and framework to mental training, self-healing, and intuitive living. Whether you're reprogramming or changing your own belief and thought patterns, supporting your kids through big emotions, or building a more mindful business, home, or community, you are in the right place. Get ready for grounded guidance, practical tools, and inspiring stories that help you think clearly, feel deeply, and raise empowered minds from the inside out. Here we go. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm super excited about today's subject. We are talking about thought energy and how that thought energy shapes our emotions, behaviors, actions, and how our belief systems come into play with these actions. So welcome. My name is Amy Schneider. I am the Atlanta and Western North Carolina Certified Silva Method Instructor. Today, I am joined by Jen Shimalla. She is a healing guide and a recent grad of the Silva Method, of Silva Life and Intuition, the core foundational 4-day course that I teach here in Atlanta and in Asheville, North Carolina. Welcome, Jen. I'm super excited to have you.
I'm so excited to be here, Amy. Thank you for having me today and talk about this wonderful topic.
Yes. So today we're talking about thought energy, and the very first day of Silva Life System, we start talking about manifesting, or what we like to call co-creating with the universe, or co-creating with God or source energy. Because I always remind everybody that everything that we have in our life right now did not exist at some point in time. It only existed as a thought or as an idea. And because of the desire, belief, and expectation of the person having this thought or idea, and the need for it, how it's going to make life different and better for them or for others or the world, then they start taking action. They have this behavior and it drives the results. And ultimately, by our actions, we are watering this thought and idea seed and bringing it into reality. It's manifesting into reality. And so at the very core, we have this thought energy, this thought about, it could be something about the past, daydreaming about the future. It could be a thought that you're having about a certain situation, whatever it is. When we have that thought, then it evokes the feelings and emotions involved with that subject, whether they be super joyous or not so joyous, maybe that negative energy, right? Thinking about what we don't want versus what we do want. And then that emotion, those feelings drive our behavior and our action, how we behave and respond or react to others, or the actions that we take or don't take based on what we're thinking and what we're feeling. And it is that thought energy that really drives the results. So if you are thinking about constantly what you don't want or what you don't like about a situation, then you're going to continue taking action with that thought energy in mind. And if you don't have a clear picture or a clear idea of what it is you do want, then it's going to be really difficult for you to take action towards that. And in the 4-day core foundational course, we have several exercises, structures that go into helping you create that ideal picture so you can start directing and focusing your thoughts to what it is you do want. So that then brings what it is into life, whether you like it or not. It manifests in that way. Today, Jen, I brought you on because Jen and I text back and forth. She helped me with my last class. It would not have been the same without her. Let's just say that. And I'm super grateful that she is in my life. And so we were texting back and forth. And she said, "Hey, I want to share this story with you." And I had already decided that I was going to talk about thought energy. And I said, "What are you doing right now? Can you jump on Zoom with me and share this story? Because it's really important." So Jen is here to help in really giving an example of what this means and how it has changed her life and just shifting. Sometimes when we just shift minutely the thought process, we end up in a completely different place. If you think about an airplane or a car, if you make a left-hand turn or shift the coordinates, even just some millimeters to the right or millimeters to the left, you are going to end up in a radically different destination. And that's what happens with our thoughts. Sometimes we feel like, oh no, I have to do all of this work and it's going to be hard. It is hard. It is uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. But a lot of the times it's just shifting just a little bit.
Right.
Maybe getting behind shifting it a lot isn't something you can believe, but maybe you can get behind shifting a little bit. So this is what we're talking today. So Jen, I'm so excited. Share your story.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to share it too, because I think everybody can relate to having something like this in their life, no matter if it's personal or relationships or job. So as an energy guide, I take all the modalities I've learned and that's what I share with people. So I was excited when a wellness center approached me to see if I could be part of their facility, just using Reiki and some of the mindset work that I've done, which would be with Silva as well. And they had a few approach me in February and I sent out my information to them and I followed up and had meetings and nothing panned out. So I said, that's okay. And I did my work, my exercises with Silva. And then another doctor approached me to be in her wellness center closer to home. Everything happens for a reason. But anyway, and it was lovely. And so she just got me so excited. So again, I went to the exercises with Silva and I did the work that I could to make this presentation for her. I sent it off and 2 months, no answer back. Then I followed up with an email or a personal text. I had her cell phone and I sent a text message out and I said to her, "Hey, just following up and was wondering if I could give you any more information." Well, that's really what I was saying to her. And so anyway, she said, "I'll get to it on Friday." And Friday came and went. And it was 2 weeks after I went to Silva to help my lovely friend Amy and be her support system. And I did the exercise again, but I took it a different way. And I just worked on it and I saw us working together and I just did a lot of Jen work. And I didn't work on that specifically until I talked to my daughter, who was having exactly the similar thing, wanted this job, wanted to manifest it. So I went and did the exercise again. And this time I just said, put all those lovely doctors in the same room with me and we talked and I said, we didn't work out and I sent my energy and love to that one. That's okay if you want to come back in the future. And then the current doctor, I said, boy, I really would love to work with you, but you know what? I've got all the tools in place. I know exactly what I need. I'm in such a good space. I'm just going to focus on that happiness and that joy right now. And when you're ready, you will come to me. And I'm giving you to the end of June because after that, the note is expired. Yeah. And I said, but I said it just like that, but in loving, because I really felt love in my heart and a lot of gratitude for even speaking to me at all in the very beginning. So the whole energy was one of release, but one of focusing on my joy and my happiness. And the ultimate result of wanting to work there was for my joy and my happiness and sharing with others. Yeah. If I could do that in another way, I'll just release it. And it all had to do with how I thought about it. And so I just thought about it in a very loving and grateful way. And 10 o'clock last night, I have on my focus where only my favorites, which would be my family and my sister, could chime through. My phone kept chiming. And I'm like, oh goodness, one of the kids evening it woke me up at 10 o'clock. You could tell my age, I'm saying I was deep asleep at 10 o'clock. Anyway.
Me too.
But what I saw was messages from the doctor. And I left it with such willpower because I knew I had done the work and that it was a positive thing. And I went right to bed without even reading it because I knew what I was getting back answered because energetically I had let it go in a thought of love and gratitude and knowing that I was going to be put in the right place. And sure enough, she accepted one of my giving her Reiki and energy work on a specific day and wanted to talk to somebody else to organize this to put this in her center.
Wow. That is so awesome.
Just by thinking about that, I shifted how I thought about it. Yes, because I had done the work through those exercises. And you might think, oh, you did the work and it didn't happen a month ago. But no, that's not true. Because when I did the work, something happened at that moment. I was able to organize myself. I came up with a lot of procedures and protocols at that time and decided, it's lovely that you want me, but I don't know if I want to work there. Oh my goodness, that's what that gave me clarity. Just because someone offers you something that might not be where you need to be.
Exactly.
So all the work I did wasn't necessarily, oh, Jen, you have to have this outcome, but was like, give me clarity around these situations, furthering me. And then now, working right moment, I'm like, it's all about giving something. I want to be in service. That's my desire. That's my purpose. When I want to be joyful while I do it. And I'm going to have a boundary and say, okay, we'll move on and I'll just do it on my own if I have to. I'll create my own space.
Yes.
And the thought energy was out there and it came to be.
I love that. I love that so much. That's really goes back to what Mr. Silva calls the laws of programming, which is when we are working on creating something or bringing something into the world or solving a problem, it's got to be win-win. I'm winning because of you. You're winning because I'm winning, not winning at someone else's expense. And also really looking at why it is that you want it. Do you want it just because you want more money? You can do anything to get more money. There's multiple things that you can be doing. Or are you doing it because you want to make the world better? You want to leave the world a better place than you found it. In doing so, I wholly believe with all of my heart that when we are doing something that is within our purpose, why we were here, why we were put here, that abundance will come. I want to highlight something you said, that you shifted into gratitude. Do you feel that how you were thinking previously, because we're all human. When we're working on something we want and we're not getting traction or we're not seeing the results fast enough in our time frame, our physical time frame, because God, source, energy, universe, they've got another idea most times. And I also, really quickly, I want to say that you were very specific on your time frame.
Yes.
Because when we're working with time, who knows? I'm giving myself a time frame. I'm giving you a time frame mentally, because at that time, then that's feedback for me, that time to go take my skills, take my process, and do something different. Did you find that you were getting caught up, maybe even just a little bit? Because you're a really super positive person and you've done so much work, but even myself, sometimes I can get caught and acknowledge, why is this happening? So that's what we have these skills for. It's why we learn these skills, so that we don't stay there too long. We move through it. Were you finding that your mindset up until that point maybe was just a little bit different? It wasn't necessarily in gratitude, but more in, I don't know, just different than it was.
I could tell you, I always felt very grateful to even be acknowledged for the expertise. So around a level of gratitude, perhaps I didn't express it in the exercises as much, but I did live in that. Boy, I was really grateful to her for creating this space, because I go to her wellness center. I frequent it personally. So I had a lot of gratitude. What I think I held on to, though, perhaps, maybe, was an idea of how it would be laid out. So in my head, I wasn't open and willing to So I had it very specific. With the other two doctors, I was very specific. I'm going to work. I'm going to work with her. And rather than just working with people in some kind of, let's see where the universe takes me, as long as I'm able to give of my talent and time to people for their greater good and their well-being. I think I was a little too specific. So in focusing on my joy of giving rather than this thing I was going to be obtaining, does that make sense?
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So really focused on that. And I have to tell you, like a total sidebar about the importance of being able to do this. We owned a business. We owned a restaurant. And my husband was never a fan of being kept inside. He was like a little bumblebee who needs to go outside and go to all the places. Yes. And so having this business where he was inside just was not, but this is where we were. This was where our investment was. And one day I just came in and said, I think, babe, I know you're sad about this, but I think I'm really going to focus every day on just being happy and joyful. In what is presented to us at this moment is this moment I've got to just focus on. If you are on board, that'd be great. We'll do it together as a team. If you're not, I'm doing this. I'm going to just keep soaring to where God wants me next. And in doing this Silva method, I saw now that back then, I didn't realize the power within that's what I did. Because the next day, someone came in and asked to buy my deli.
Wow.
The next day.
Wow.
My husband, after that talk, it took him a little while. He was marinating in his office about that. And he goes, you know what, babe? I'm so miserable. I'm on board. What do I have to do for this happiness? Just focus on happiness. Just don't focus on what you don't want. Focus on what you want. Focus on the feeling and the joy and all that.
Yeah.
And so someone came in the next day.
Wow.
I never even saw my deli before. Never even tried my sandwiches. Never. He saw an old listing from 8 months before. It was just really,
Oh,
so
you hadn't even been through Silva at that point.
Nope. But how wonderful is this? Now I'm in Silva and I understand that. And I feel like I have all these tools that I know how to. So now I knew what I was doing this time. And I'm like, why don't I just do that thing?
Even the structure.
Yeah, the structure now. Exactly.
Yes. That's what I love about it. Jose Silva did not create anything new in terms of the concepts because there's so many different lovely, wonderful modalities. So many people come in to the class with so much holistic Western medicine, Eastern medicine, just completely different backgrounds. They all do different things in their life. And they come for this tool, this structure, this framework, because our brains love framework. It's something it can get behind. It's easy for us to, when we have step by step, then our brain doesn't have to use as much energy because it likes to use the least amount of resources to do the thing as possible. Right. So it's why changing habits is hard. Because it takes more work to do that. And it's imperative that we not only have the framework, but we also have the grace and patience with ourselves to do the work. And it's just what I love about it, because he created this step-by-step framework instead of me just telling you, oh, Jen, just be positive. If I knew you at that time when you owned the restaurant, maybe I would say, I don't know what I'd say. But if I said to you at that time, just be grateful for what you have, and it's all going to work out. Just know that. Just think tomorrow's going to be better. Okay, that's great. But that's more of an idea. How do you apply it?
And I didn't even realize I was visualizing and really doing a lot of our steps that right now bring me so much comfort and confidence, because Jose Silva gave us these tools, this structure, like you said, that I know I can rely on. So back then, I didn't know all that. I was just relying on some of the work I had done, and I was doing a lot of similar things. Now I can access that because of your course. Like, truthfully, the 4 days with the word immersion, you really do. You're just like sitting in that knowing, and you're absorbing all that. It's just great tools to have access to that I could just do it like that now. So every day I can go to a certain point and at a certain level of my mind and relax and be confident to take on the day whatever the day brings. We're using it for a specific thing, but truth be told, you can use it just to feel good today. Just today.
Absolutely. And what I really love that you said is that you change that feeling, focus on the feeling. When we're focusing on the feeling, we change our reality because our bodies, our brains, they love to feel good. They're wired to feel good. They would much rather feel that than not feel good. And in fact, the nervous system, right? We have this nervous system. The way that those feelings of feeling good reach our brain are different than those feelings of discomfort and feeling bad. Our brain has a hierarchy for that. It actually calls those feel good moments and those comfort measures to get to the brain faster than our perception of discomfort and pain and negativity. But we are wired for that because we want to survive. We're here because we have survived thousands and thousands of years and being wired to focus on what we don't want so that we do focus on what we do want. However, we can get so caught up in that we may find ourselves just being in this victim mentality. And when we do that, our thought energy becomes negative. So if we want something that is up here super positive and our thought energy is down here super negative, right? Then it's going to be difficult to get there. The energy doesn't match. And that's what we do in the foundational 4-day course is we focus on first learning how to relax. And then once in that relaxed state, when we're at a different brain frequency, alpha, we're more relaxed. We can think of more creative solutions. It's where intuition lies. And we have this structure to apply to our life when we're faced with a problem, when we're faced with a challenge. We've got some mental tools. We have tons of physical tools, but we need mental tools. We are both mental and physical, right? We have that physical energy and that spiritual energy. By spiritual and non-physical, we have both. And relying on one in our life isn't enough. We have to rely on both. And this gives us those mental tools, those non-physical tools. And what I'm super excited about, so we have that foundational course, and we also have another course. If you're new to the Silva method and you're interested in, hey, where do I go? This sounds so great. What do I do? We have the foundational 4-day course, which you do want to take at some point. We also have the 2-day Silva Manifesting course where we focus on exactly this, that thought energy, that vibration. How can I have the same vibration, think in the same vibration as the thing that I want? And we go really deep into finding that personal code to success, which is that feeling that you feel when you have succeeded, right? What's that feeling when that sale has come in or that problem has been solved? And it is another step-by-step structure. It has 11 completely different techniques than the Silva 4-day. It's 2 totally different courses. So if you're new to Silva, it's a wonderful place to start. And if you have taken the Silva method, it's wonderful because you already have the foundation and then you get to go a little bit deeper. And I do not personally teach Silva Manifesting. I teach Silva Life and Intuition. I can call her a mentor now too. She's amazing friend. And she is the director, instructor of Silva Method Australia. And she came to the States September of 2024. It is when I took Silva Manifesting for the first time, which I find so funny because I've been practicing for the past 40 years. My mom put me in the Silva 4-day at age 9. And I've taken all of the other graduate courses, and Silva Manifesting was one of the courses I had not yet taken. So I was super excited and I came with goals. I had a lot to work on because sometimes you've got the structure, you're taking action, you get results, yes, but then you get blocked. And it's like, no matter what you do, you're not getting the feedback that you want. And in Silva Manifesting, we go even deeper of really figuring out what those blocks are. You've got the tools from the 4-day if you've been through the 4-day to do that as well, but this really focuses in on that. And Jeanine, when she first started her journey with Silva, that's where she started. She started at Silva Manifesting and completely changed her life. And then several years later, that's when she did the core foundational course. She really knows and lives this material, these tools backwards and forwards. And she's so inspiring. I got so much out of this course and I'm so excited being able to bring her back to the States, to Atlanta for the first time, to be able to present Silva Manifesting 2-day course. And I'm super excited because she's also going to be presenting an additional 2-day workshop called Louise Hay's Love Yourself, Heal Your Life workshop. And it is solely based, it's all Louise Hay's work, Louise Hay's words, everything. She had all of this created into a workshop before she passed. Louise Hay is also a Silva grad, and it is a completely different experience, and it's so gentle. So in Silva Manifesting, some things may come up, and then in Love Yourself, Heal Your Life workshop, you can do more work on those things that came up for Silva Manifesting. So they're wonderful to be put together in the way that they are. Jeanine and Nancy hold such wonderful space for everyone there. And I'm thrilled. I am honored. I have so much gratitude. I just want to share this because it is so helpful when we have extra tools to live our life. And I also have a clip. Jeanine and I did a workshop several weeks back, how to heal your life and manifest more. We did an awesome workshop, and I've divided it up into 4 sections because it was about an hour workshop. And this first section that I'm going to present really talks about this thought energy, talks about the laws. I mentioned laws of programming with Jose Silva, laws of attraction, laws of vibration. She really goes into the science of how we manifest and what you learn in Silva Manifesting. I hope you enjoy this next section of Jeanine Sciacca from Silva Method Australia. This is about 15 minutes, and I hope you enjoy. Welcome to our workshop this evening, How to Heal Your Life and Manifest More. I am so grateful you're here. Our workshop tonight is going to be presented by Jeanine Sciacca, the director and instructor of Silva Method Australia. My name is Amy Schneider. I am the Silva Method instructor here in Atlanta, Georgia, and in West Carolina in the U.S. And I have been a Silva practitioner for the past 40 years. My mom introduced it to me when I was 9, and I've been an instructor for the past 5 years. I celebrated my 5-year anniversary this March, and it is wonderful. It is a passion of mine. I teach the Silva Life and Intuition 4-day immersion here in Atlanta. And that is the original 4-day course that Mr. Silva created over 55 years ago in updated format. And it's the program that you start with. And tonight, you're going to be also learning about Silva Manifesting. It's a 2-day seminar, and it is a little bit more in-depth seminar. However, it is perfect. You're just being introduced to Silva, or if you are a grad, Jeanine's going to talk more about that. And Jeanine is coming over to Atlanta here August 30th through September 2nd to be presenting Silva Manifesting, and back to back another workshop that she trains, which is the Love Yourself, Heal Your Life workshop. It is a Louise Hay workshop, who is also a Silva grad. And she's going to be doing those 2 workshops back to back. She is the only one right now. There's nobody in the US, so she's going to be coming over to do that. We're super excited. And without further ado, I will introduce Jeanine. As I mentioned, she is the director and instructor in Australia, Silva Method Australia, also in South Africa. She also is a John Maxwell trainer, coach, and I had the pleasure of going through Silva Manifesting and Love Yourself, Heal Your Life this last September in Connecticut. And it was unlike anything I have experienced. It was absolutely wonderful. And I left there just, as I've told Jeanine, cracked wide open in all the really wonderful ways. And she is an amazing instructor, an amazing person, human, and an amazing thought leader. And I'm super excited to have her with us tonight to introduce you to her. And Jeanine, take it away.
Amy, thank you so much. What an introduction. Sometimes when the introduction is so great, then I think I want to also meet that person. You're great, Amy. So thank you everyone for taking the time to join us. It's really an honor and a privilege to have so many people come on, and we had quite a lot of registrations, which is fantastic. As Amy said, I'll just remind you, for those of you who haven't done the Silva Method, the original core program is what Amy trains in Atlanta, what I train here in Australia or South Africa. That's the core foundational program. It's a 4-day program called Silva Life and Intuition System. Now, I'm coming out to Atlanta to train a program called Silva Manifesting, back to back with Love Yourself, Heal Your Life. And just to say, if you have done the Silva Method, you'd love this program because there are 11 new techniques. Not one of them is the same as the Silva 4-day program. So everything is new, and it's just a focus totally on how we manifest, the actual science behind it. If you've never done the Silva Method, so let's say you've never done the program in your life, not the 4-day, not anything, you couldn't pick a better place to start, because myself, I came to the Silva Method through Silva Manifesting. So that's how I came to do the program. This is now many years ago. I'm talking over 15 years ago. And today I happen to train Silva Manifesting. I'm now certified, and that's why I'm coming out to do it in Atlanta with Amy, as she mentioned, in August, and then doing Love Yourself, Heal Your Life. So what I would like to cover off with you guys today is just really help you understand a little bit about how you actually manifest, because this is really probably quite important to you and why you came to this event, I'm not sure. And then I'll talk about the Silva Manifesting a little bit first. If there are any questions, type in the chat box. Your questions, I'll take them as I see them. And then I'll try and dedicate some time as well to Love Yourself, Heal Your Life. Although I would like to talk to them both, because we are training them back to back. And a person would say, why would I need to attend both? And this is the purpose of this webinar, and to help you understand a couple of things. So I've just made a few notes here that I might refer to, but the first thing I want to share is there's all kinds of reasons why people like yourselves come to an event like this. That might be different for everyone, but generally they fall into 3 common buckets. The first reason people come to an event like this is because they actually want to learn how to consciously create a desired outcome. They want to know how they manifest, because you'll all know that you do manifest. You can think of many examples in your life where you said, I know I did that. I really wanted that and I made it happen. So we're all manifesting all the time. Now, by the way, when we have things happen that we don't want, we're manifesting as well. We're also manifesting. So what's going on and how do we master the art of manifesting? That's one reason why people come, to learn how to do it consistently and reliably. That's the one reason. The other one is to develop mental clarity and a sense of mental focus. I don't know what you're feeling right now, but I can tell you the more students I coach, the more people I train, the more people are looking for clarity. There's a lot of distraction in this world. People have lost a lot of focus, or even if they have goals, they find it difficult to stay focused on their goals. That's another reason. A third reason is that people actually want to connect more with their intuition. So the Silva Method, as a program, develops intuition. And when I first did Silva Manifesting, my very first course I did back in 2010, I never even realized how my intuition was developed. And if you're making notes, I'm just going to jump right into something really important. You might want to write this down. An idea is the first manifestation, an idea. So we have goals, we have things that we want, we have all kinds of techniques we're looking for to know how to program for these goals. This is the term we use in Silva. We say we program for them. What do we mean? We know that. It means you close your eyes, you get into a calm, relaxed state, and you use mental rehearsal and advanced visualization and creative imagery to create a scene of your goal not happening, but already happened in the past, like accomplished, and then to conjure the emotion of it. And in the moment that you feel the emotion, your vibration changes. The way you feel changes. And it really is a vibration. You can measure it with instrumentation today. It's a vibration. So you're in a different state of everything in your body, down to your atoms, your subatomic particles are energy, and they're in a state of vibration. And when you're angry, they're low. And when you're very happy or joyous, they're quite high. So we do have grades of vibration. And that's what a feeling is. So when you're visualizing your goal already accomplished, in that moment, in the present tense, your vibration rises to the frequency of your goal. And if you hold it long enough, you start to engage what we call universal law. And the law of attraction is the one that's most important right now. And whatever is a vibrational match, the thing that you're feeling, you start to manifest that way by law. Meaning, what is the law of attraction? It says you get what you think about, whether you want it or not. Now, be aware, it says you get what you think about, whether you want it or not. So if you don't want it and we're feeling it, maybe we're not busy programming for our goals, we're just driving in traffic and feeling angry about something, we also manifest what we don't want. So whatever it is, we manifest. So if you're making notes, you might want to write this down. Goal setting is an intellectual process, but goal achievement or goal manifesting is a lawful process. So in the 2-day workshop of Silva Manifesting, we definitely talk about the 7 universal laws all the time until the person becomes like really aware that we don't manifest through luck. We don't manifest through good times, bad times, the weathers. We manifest by law. And what does it mean by law? It means it never changes. It never deviates. It's the same for everybody, whether you're a good person, bad person, whether you're a rich person, poor person, you come from a bad background, good background. Doesn't matter what your culture is, what era we're living in, laws are consistent and undeviating. And the best example I can give is the law of gravity. People don't have to believe in it, but it still applies. I can just pick up this pen and drop it. I say I don't believe in the law of gravity, but it's reliable. The law of aerodynamics is why we can trust every single plane that's going at a certain speed with a certain curvature of the wing to start to take off. Because it's not by luck. It's not by chance. It's by a law, one of God's laws, the law of aerodynamics. So when it comes to manifesting, we have laws that govern manifesting. As I mentioned, the law of attraction is one that is most commonly known. And by the way, the law of attraction is actually like a marketing term for the law of vibration. And the law of vibration says everything is in a state of vibration, and that is likened to itself is drawn. Which means if a person is not aware of what state they're in, let's say you're in a very angry state and complaining heavily, the law of attraction is going to bring you more of that. You get what you think about or what you feel, whether you want it or not. So when a person's angry and complaining, they're just going to attract more things into their life for them to become more angry and more complaining. And that's when we're not aware. That's why to do a course to raise your awareness and practice the opposite of that, which is what we want, how to remain focused on our goals with a feeling of appreciation or joy or achievement, and hold that feeling predominantly and have techniques to keep connecting with that feeling. You help train your vibration to an upward place in the frequency of the goal you want. And as you do with repetition, every time you think of your goal, you think of the outcome. Not that I don't have it, the outcome. Because everything in life has 2 sides. Every subject has 2 sides. So let's talk about money. If a person wants more money, subject of money is not one subject. It's got 2 sides. The one side is the having of money, and the other side is have not. So when you're programming for more money to come in your life, or an increase, or whatever it may be. I've done it many times. I still do it today. I still program to have more financial abundance for living a better life. And there's nothing wrong with it. If you think there's anything wrong with it, it's a limiting belief. The universe is abundant. Everything in nature is abundant. And we are in an abundant world. So prosperity means abundance for me too. And any thought that we shouldn't have more or couldn't have more is to do with lack of self-esteem or lack of self-love. And that's why we do Love Yourself, Heal Your Life straight after Silva Manifesting. Because if you learn all the tools on manifesting, but don't love yourself, you're not going to bring the good into your life. And I don't know this from theory. I know this from my own life example. I've manifested incredible things when I found Silva Manifesting. Even the international global trainer of the Silva Method, when he very first met me, this is way back in 2012, I hadn't even done the Silva 4-day. And I was talking about Silva Manifesting that I'd just been practicing. My results were astounding. And then there have been times in my life where I divested myself of the good. I ruined the good. As I got it in, it went out. As something good happened, something bad happened. As I suddenly got out of nowhere several $1,000s of, one example was unclaimed pension from a certain pension fund. And they said, of all the people, the fund moved over and they were surplus, and just out of nowhere, money came in. And then you'll find sometimes you're able to keep it and put it to some good use, invest it, whatever you want. And other times, as that money comes in, you go over something with your car and blow a tire. And then you must spend $2,500 fixing the wheel and replacing the other tire because you can't change one, you've got to change two. Or something else happens. So when we have this going good up and down, back and forth, is the struggle that everyone faces when it comes to manifesting. So the laws all play a role, and universal law is the most important thing to understand, because when you understand universal law, you realize that manifesting is a science, because the laws of physics. So we spoke about the law of vibration. If you're feeling very positive, it's that you're going to high vibration. If you feel very angry or complaining, you're in a lower vibration, and you're going to attract a vibrational match every single time. So when I talk about the subject of everything has got two sides, we need to know that when we're trying to program for something, if we constantly have the awareness, I don't have it yet, I don't have it yet, I don't have it yet, you get what you think about. I don't have it yet. So you're creating the lack of it or the postponing of it manifesting purely by your awareness that it hasn't manifested yet. So what we need to do is what? We need to create time, whether it's 5 minutes a day, it'll work. 10 minutes is better. 15 minutes is excellent. Where you actually close your eyes and relax your body. And then you visualize yourself as if you had the goal. The only question to answer for yourself when you must visualize is this: what does it feel like having this already? Now, you don't have it, but you've got to imagine it. So use our imagination. And every time you do that and you imagine the having of it, your vibration rises to the frequency of having it, which is a different frequency to where you are now. When you go back and do it again, tomorrow, you do it, you raise your vibration there again. When you come out, it slowly comes down. But every day you do it, you raise your vibration up. And over time, it doesn't go that low. It goes a little bit higher. Again, and it goes a bit higher. And eventually you train your vibration to an upward place. And when you can maintain or sustain it with a level of expectancy, this is going to happen for me. I've imagined it so many times. I'm familiar with that feeling. I've almost got a memory of this future state. It feels so familiar. The more familiar it feels, the more you've trained your vibration up a state. And the minute you've got that feeling of expectancy and you believe it's going to happen for you, it manifests. That's in very simple terms, the whole process.
I hope so much that you enjoyed this episode with Jen Shimalla and her sharing her story of just shifting her thought pattern just a little bit and allowing the goals, the manifestation of what she was working on to flow in. I also hope you enjoyed the first part of the How to Heal Your Life and Manifest More workshop with Jeanine Sciacca of Silva Method Australia. And I am super excited to have her here August 30th through September 2nd, presenting those 2 workshops back to back. Silva Manifesting the first 2 days, August 30th and 31st, and the Louise Hay Love Yourself, Heal Your Life Transformational Workshop, September 1st and 2nd. Both are incredible, and they are made even more transformational back to back. If you would like more information or to attend, we would love to have you. For Jeanine's first time here in Atlanta, both Silva Manifesting and Love Yourself, Heal Your Life sold out last year in Connecticut with Ken Kasha of Silva Method Connecticut as the host. And this time, I'm so excited to have the privilege, the honor of being able to host it here this year. For both of the workshops, click on the links in the show notes, or you can go to www.silvamethodatlanta.com. You can click on courses, then Silva Manifesting, and you'll get all of the information and how to register. Have an amazing day. Have a better and better day. Bye.